Cinna had just turned 18, just joined the training unit of Legion Persis, had missed the war. So had his brothers. They were all sour about that. He wasn't truly in the squad until his brothers said he was in. Right now, they were still they, and Cinna was still that new guy. Cinna couldn't say he was desperate to belong. There was no desperation in it. It was a thing he must do, and he wanted it done. Now. His brothers were waiting for him at the edge of the salt flats, looked as severe as the rocks behind them. Out here, the land rose straight up in a natural battlement, testament of a violent creation. The Roman colonial planet Phoenix lay quieter now than when the volcanic world first thrust the dragons back from the seabed and cooked off the waters. Cinna's brothers looked like him. And maybe Cinna was vain, but he thought his brothers were magnificent. They were bronze-skinned, tall, built lean and hard, and all in proportion. They looked at him with the same dark, dark eyes as he looked at them. Their dark hair curled more or less. Clones were always given individual traits for recognition and accountability. Cinna and his brothers were similar, but not exactly the same. And Cinna still couldn't keep Leo and Galileo straight. He had to wonder if the reproduction designers already knew the name of the subject clone when they doled out its distinctive genes. Did they know that Faunus was going to be a Faunus when they gave him that barrel chest, that wicked, sybaritic face, and those curls? Surely they had to know he was going to be a Faunus when they gave him those curls. That head of hair was just begging for a vine wreath to crown it. Who but a Faunus could wear one of those? Pallas was a regal, refined name. And Pallas the man was too civilized. He had a gentle look, a gentle air. His basic features were the same as the others, but he had been drawn with an airbrush. Pallas was someone's idea of ideal male beauty, and that was fine for Pallas. Cinna was glad that wasn't he. Cinna's own looks were a sharper, rougher cut, and Cinna liked it that way. Oryssus was the hard-ass of the lot. Square, bulky, sardonic. His thick lips were made for sneering. Oryssus took this insider-outsider division seriously. Oryssus got clumsy with liquids around Cinna's bunk, and he tended to step on Cinna's parade-polished boots 5 minutes before inspection. Another reason to want this trial over with. It was getting hard not to hate Oryssus. Nicanor had a noble name, and he had nobility. Nicanor stood a gnat's breadth taller than the rest. He was perfect. Not as mean as Oryssus. Nicanor was cold and lofty as a hero statue. Leo and Galileo. Had the reprod designers gotten lazy when they cranked out those two clones? Physically, Leo and Galileo were Tweedledee and Tweedledee. But Leo was technically inclined, and Galileo was a headbasher. And then there was Nox. He should have been taller, but there had been no choice. Nobody had designed Nox. He wasn't a clone. Nox had been born, really born, not gently retrieved from an incubator at term, but extruded from a live woman's very narrow, you-have-got-to-be-kidding-me passage. Gotta love natural conception, but the final delivery? Cinna thanked any and all gods for giving him a penis. Nox's mother had to be insane. Cinna could tell at first look that Nox was a wild weed. The naturally selected had a certain chaos about them. Nox stood a full handspan shorter than his brothers, and he was fair-skinned and blonde. He had been born on Earth. American, but no one held that against him. Nox was not a blood brother, but he was a brother all the same. That he was adopted meant somebody deemed him worthy to be Antonian. The venerable line of Antonius hung its gens name on him, and now he was Antonius Nox, every bit as Antonian as the rest of them. Maybe even more. You could usually tell the converts from the natives. The adoptees and the novos had to prove themselves. They had a fanatical drive to out-Roman the Romans. Probably why Nox wore a traditional knee-length tunic with no trousers and sandals instead of boots. Sand under a sandal strap either ripped up your feet or made you tough. Nox was proving he was tough. He'd already proved he was Roman enough for this squad. Nox was in. Cinna, the blood brother, was still out. Oryssus spat on the hard ground at Cinna's approach.